Hello and welcome to the Breathing Room. Today's topic is heart health, specifically women's heart health. I'm happy to have on the show Lale Busheri.
There's not enough awareness in our country about prevention.
Right. Anand is her husband.
My husband.
And he's the founder of Prashanti Cancer Care, just to let people
And he's
know.
a cancer surgeon. I
that
had
a
no
symptom?
pain. I had no pain, nothing. I just felt in the chest a little bit like an acidity. It wasn't burning, but it was like a funny sensation in this part.
Yes,
Many
yes,
surgeons
okay.
just do the main part. I didn't want to be like on a conveyor belt. You know what I mean?
yes.
I wanted that personal attention for the single person to do everything, and that was him.
That's great. Yeah, even me, everyone was like, wow, oh my God, you got an angioplasty. But one person who I had told, she goes, oh, it's no big deal. It's like a filling these days.
Yeah.
It's like getting a filling.
So many friends who had a bypass earlier, even some cousins have had it and all that. They all told me we've had it 20 years ago, 18 years ago, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
We've forgotten about it also. We're leading a normal life. We're doing everything. And you have to try and move back to normal life. You should not dwell on to what has happened
Yes.
and just
Running on the past
no.
never
That is
works.
not me. I can't.
Yes.
I can't work that way.
Hello and welcome to the Breathing Room. I'm Rita Date, your host. I'm a yoga and meditation coach, nutritionist, and author. On this show, we talk about M&M, mind, nutrition, movement, 3 pillars for a healthy life. You'll find practical information, all backed by science. Stay tuned. Today's topic is heart health, specifically women's heart health. I'm happy to have on the show Lale Busheri. She is the CEO of Prashanti Cancer Care, and this is an organization that does wonderful work. It gives holistic treatment and affordable treatment to cancer patients. So welcome, Lale.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Rita.
So I've called Lale. She's a good friend of mine because she recently had a open heart surgery, and I also had an angioplasty last August. And so we're not going to talk about cancer today, but today we'll talk about heart health. So what happens when a woman becomes in menopausal years? They don't have the protection of estrogen to help them to help the heart. The estrogen is there to relax the arteries and promote good cholesterol. So that's why what happens to women. Women are equal risk after menopause to have a heart attack as men. So Lale, firstly, before we get into this talk, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background and how you got into Prashanti and what. Yeah.
So I was born in Pune, actually at Jahangir Hospital, because my grandparents were in Pune and my mom came here for her delivery. And then I studied in Bombay, went to Fort Convent, did my law. And then many years later, Anand was a friend through common friends. And Anand told me I need help at Prashanti and why don't you come and volunteer if you have some time. So that's how I started in 2009 volunteering at Prashanti, and then got totally involved and then started taking care of the organization. It does amazing work. It takes care of unaffording breast cancer patients who come from all over India for free ship. So surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation, and plus holistic, whether it's counseling, onco-counseling, nutrition, we have yoga, we have many other aspects. And now we have a very, very vibrant research wing, basically dealing with breast cancer.
That's needed
So,
in
yeah,
India.
it's very much needed.
And we have the database and
Everything,
population.
yes. We have the first breast tissue biobank now from Pune. It's a large one which we have, and we are doing a lot of work with genetics and many other spheres of breast cancer.
So you're very busy. I know Lale, so I know how busy she is, and she gives talks all over the place. Her schedule was absolutely full, and
We
still
try
is.
our best to
Yeah.
create awareness about
Right.
breast cancer, because like all diseases, I think now I realize that about the heart also, that there's not enough awareness in our country about prevention.
Right.
So at least in breast cancer, we have tried in the peripheries, in the lower income, in the middle class, and the affordable or the affluent class, to be able to create an awareness of early signs of breast cancer, to pick those up.
So, a lot of people have heard of breast cancer. I mean, people know women get breast cancer, but very few people know that they get heart disease and heart attacks. So especially someone like me and you, we know what to eat. We know we have to exercise. We go to the doctor, get checkups regularly. We take our health seriously. So tell us how your journey in what happened, like when you got diagnosed and how you found out and what was the trajectory.
So Rita, exactly what you say. I mean, I eat well. I'm mostly a vegetarian. I have fish. I'm not a non-veg eater like meat or this thing. I don't drink or smoke. So I always tease people and say I have no minor vices. So and I've always walked for about an hour a day, and I have a pool at home. We swim. So that way lifestyle was pretty good. And one day in November, I had come home from work and I climbed upstairs to my bedroom, and I just got a little breathless. And it was just one flight of steps. So I called up Anand, and he was on his way home from the hospital. It was late evening. It was about, I think...
Anand is her husband.
My husband.
And he's the founder of Prashanti Cancer Care, just to let people
and he's
know.
a cancer surgeon.
Cancer surgeon,
So
yes.
I called him and I said that I'm a bit breathless, and he said, why did you run? Did you swim a lot? What did you do? I said, no, I have just come home from work. And he told me, just sit or lie down, don't move. I'm anyway on my way home. And when he reached, he had called up Dr. Sarita Kulkarni, the physician, whom I have immense trust in, and Anand also has a lot of trust in her, and he told her just come home. And I think back to back they both reached. When they reached, I was a bit breathless, and I had also, my BP had shot up when they took my BP. So Sarita and Anand said, we'll call the cardiac ambulance, we'll take you to the hospital. So I said, no, I said, by the time the ambulance comes and I go back, it's a long time. So maybe we can just go in the car. So we went down, all three of us, and before I got into the car, I had a large vomit. But then I realized that it was...
Oh,
I had no pain. I had no pain, nothing. I just felt in the chest a little bit like an acidity. It wasn't burning, but it was like a funny sensation in this part. So now I know, reading a lot, that a lot of women do not get chest pains. They get a bit of acidity, or they get shoulder pain, or they get jaw pain, or they get a lower back pain. The symptoms are not just a chest pain for women.
And then, vomiting is also a...
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
So I think what I understand is all the blood that rushes, and you either have a loose motion or you have a large vomit just at that particular time.
Yeah. Come out.
So I went to the hospital, and they gave me a Lasix, and they gave me, of course, a blood thinner, aspirin and all that, and then they said we'd do an angio. So Dr. Ajit Mehta did my angio, and he was very, very good. I mean, I must say I never felt a prick. He was fantastic, and at about 3 minutes it was done and over. And Anand told me at that time that if there is a blockage, then we'll just put in a stent or whatever is needed. So I said, absolutely, just go ahead and do what has to be done. But when they did the angio, they realized that I needed more than 2 stents, and the position of how it was, Anand was not sure that we should stent, although the doctors, many of them decided that it should be stented. So Anand decided to keep me in the hospital, and next morning his sister and his sister's husband are very senior doctors in Bombay. So they had 2 appointments in Bombay with 2 senior cardiologists and a surgeon. My brother flew in from America that morning, and Anand went from Pune, and they took 2 opinions. The cardiologist told Anand, no, she should stent, and it's very easily done, and bring her to Bombay, I'll do it. But then Anand took a couple of more opinions, and he decided that in the long term, a bypass is much better. Because if it's more than 2 stents, and later on then you would probably need a bypass years down the line, and it's never the same, a bypass over that kind of stenting from what I understand. But once you've had a bypass, it's much easier to stent later if you need to. And I think I had immense faith in Anand's decision. So I didn't even discuss it. I said whatever has to be done, it has to be done, and I just kind of went with the flow.
Okay.
And then of course the question was the doctor, and Anand chose Dr. Manoj Pradhan and his wife in Pune, Alka, and she's his anesthesiast.
Okay.
And it was a very, I should not say pleasant, but it was a very smooth journey with them, because they gave me a lot of time.
Before or after?
Before and after.
Oh, okay.
So they came practically every day to meet me.
So it's not an emergency that you had to do right
away? I got operated a month later.
Oh, a month later.
So I had this breathlessness on 4th of November, and I was operated on 6th of December.
Okay.
So they gave me a lot of time. They met me many times. I never felt they rushed me. They heard me out. They answered all my questions. So there was a lot of ease. And then I chose the date finally. They gave me an option of few dates, and I wanted to be completely mentally ready. So when I decided, I think it was a Monday when I decided we'll do it that Friday. I mean, mutually with Dr. Pradhan, he gave me options of dates because he was also traveling quite a bit. And we chose the date, and I had completely submitted to my doctor and to, I think, the Almighty. So I was in a complete Zen state when I went in.
That's good. I mean,
Rita, I was not disturbed.
That's
it didn't
amazing.
bother me. Yeah, I was in total Zen state. And I didn't think about it. I had asked him the questions I needed to ask him before, like how many days in the ICU, how many days in the hospital, and when is the ventilator removed. And they were very, very good about it. They removed the ventilator a couple of hours after I came out of the surgery. I was in the ICU for 2 nights, and the 5th day in the evening I was home.
Wow.
Yeah, the 5th evening I was home. So
that's amazing.
It was very nice, and they gave me a lot of attention. He and his wife, they were there twice a day to see me, so I had that comfort zone. And the other thing I found, which I needed a surgeon who would open and close himself, not have juniors or others doing other stuff.
Oh, yes,
Many
yes.
surgeons
Okay.
just do the main part. I didn't want to be like on a conveyor belt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I wanted that personal attention for the single person to do everything, and that was him.
Okay.
So that was also a criteria for me.
Okay.
You know, when I wanted to be
That's a good
operated.
point.
Yeah, that was a very
People
important
can
point.
ask for that.
Yeah.
If they,
So that's very important
Yeah.
too. I mean, to me that worked. You know, so me it was not that a surgeon is operating say 100 cases a month. If you have a conveyor belt, you are right.
Right.
But if it was important that he gave personal attention, he did everything himself, and lot of quality time post surgery also. So I think that was very important.
yeah.
That kind of, you know, there was a bond.
Yeah, and you had a very your recovery was there was nothing happening.
No,
you were very
my
just
recovery was
straight.
very, very smooth.
I'm thinking of the word.
Anand, they kept informing Anand from the OT what was happening literally by every half an hour. Anand had his senior nurse in the OT to assist, and they told Anand the BP didn't go up, didn't go down. It was very, very smooth.
Yeah. No, even when you got home, I'm sure there was that.
So there were the issues. So when I went into the cardiac ICU, when I came round from the anesthesia, they had counseled me, Alka, that you could get a headache or you could have a nausea, but it was very smooth. It was like getting up from my sleep. And
I think you were mentally prepared.
I was mentally prepared. Rita had prepared myself, but at the same time, sometimes, however mentally you're prepared, things happen, right?
Of course.
So it was very, very smooth. And I remember her telling me once, for me to give the anesthesia is like an aircraft taking off and landing. It has to be a smooth takeoff and a smooth getting back into this. And it was exactly that.
Okay.
And the only thing that I was concerned about when I woke up was I wanted the ventilator out. So I kept, Anand saying, when is it? And I wrote that, when are you removing it?
Oh.
So they removed it by the evening.
Okay.
I was out by 2:33 from the OT, and they removed it by, I think, 7:30. And the issues that I faced when post-surgery for about 2 weeks were, I had night sweats. So at night, I was getting a bit of night sweats for a couple of days and a little bit of fever. But I understand that is a normal body's reaction to
throw things out.
Yeah, basically. And to also, it's the way of dealing with something different.
Yeah.
It's something new in the body, right? It's
you just had a major hit, basically.
So that was it. And secondly, the other issues I had was, I had no appetite. And I was quite happy because I lost some weight. Now is the problem, because now my appetite is back with a vengeance and I'm hungry all the time. So I have to be careful to control the weight. And of course, sleep was a big issue because you have the heart, that band to give you support.
Right.
And you're not allowed to turn on either side for a while. So you don't get much sleep for a couple of, maybe 2 weeks or so. You hardly get any sleep.
Okay.
So, but when you look back, you realize that just a phase and it's a matter of time. And it's a literally like
a bump.
One single, I tell answer like one single speed breaker in the whole of Pune when we deal with so many every day.
Yeah.
You know?
So look at you now. I mean, you look fantastic. You're back to exercise.
Yeah.
You're.
I think I had just fabulous support.
Yeah.
I think I had.
So Lali, what did you have any markers like when you got your blood test done?
I had cholesterol. I've always had a high cholesterol because it is from my family's hypercholesterol, and my dad's had a high cholesterol. I have one brother who lives in America, and he's had high cholesterol.
Do they take statins?
Yes,
Do you take statins?
yes. Take statins, and now after my surgery, I'm taking the injection once in 15 days.
The statin injection?
Yes, statin injection.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, you did not?
No, I didn't have the injection before that at all.
Did you take anything?
I used to take statins for a long time first, and then I had taken a gap of not taking it.
Okay. So do you think not taking it contributed?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe?
Yes,
yeah?
probably. Yes.
Okay.
If I look back at it.
No.
Yes.
So I'll tell you, people are shocked to hear about my story as well, because I have a yoga studio. I'm a nutritionist. I write about healthy food, and how did this happen to her? I am postmenopausal. Number one, heart health. I didn't take the statins. I just thought, it runs in my family. Nothing is going to happen to me. Etc. etc.
My aunt is 103 and she has cholesterol of over 500 in New
Really?
York. My mom's 90 years old. She has high cholesterol. They're in great shape.
There's a big
It's
thing
very
going
strange,
on
isn't it?
especially on the internet, about these influencers saying, I have 600 cholesterol and this and that. They're just a number, and it's big pharma trying to make you take medicine. Firstly, you should not listen to influencers
Absolutely,
for health reasons.
For
Go to your
many things,
doctor.
I think.
Go to your doctor, and sometimes medicines are necessary. So cholesterol is one thing for me. I should have taken the statins, and there is amount of stress we don't realize what happens, and it accumulates over the years. I was told that this is an accumulation of over 10 years. It's not something that happens immediately. But same, I had an angioplasty, and I bounced back within a couple of weeks. It's much less on your body than an open heart surgery. So that was one thing I wanted to ask you, if you had any of the markers for that, and family history.
Yes.
And your mom,
my mom's has high cholesterol. My aunt has 103, and I think she's never taken a statin. She's just it's very strange. I have lots of friends who eat a lot of red meat, cheese, ghee, everything. They're huge. They're big made. They're heavy. And they've had their test done after me, because they all got worried.
Yes. Yeah.
So many people went and got their test done, and it seems normal. And 2 friends of mine last week who don't drink, don't smoke, who are very, very lean, they exercise like crazy, both have had heart issues and have had multiple stents actually. So I think I personally feel that the family history plays a big role. Very, very big role, at least for this.
Yes.
That is,
I know.
And both of them told me that since they don't have any of these vices and they are very particular, both of them have, one's father passed away in the 50s, and the other one, also his mom had a bypass in the 50s. So I think the family history does play a role.
Yeah. Growing up, I don't remember any women getting this.
No.
Yeah, maybe we
hardly.
didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
maybe. Or maybe they were healthier or something. But now
I think also I feel maybe in the olden days, you basically ate a lot of home food.
Yeah.
And now there's so much of processed food, and we eat out so much, we really don't know what we're eating.
Yeah.
You know, like they say commercial paneer, there's no dairy in it. This is just one of those things,
Yeah.
So.
No, even eating out 2 or 3 times a week.
Yes.
It sounds harmless.
Yes, but
builds up.
It builds up.
Yeah, just like the plaque can build up here. So that is true. And just coming back to your social support, that's very important. I think just mentally and physically, because in the hospitals there's stuff to do, especially here in India, you need to bring food or whatever, some hospitals. So your family, your brother came down all the way?
My brother flew in the next morning, and he was with me for 2 months with my mom, and they stayed with me for 2 months. I think that was a huge support even to Anand. I think Anand was my primary support, because he was like a rock. And my brother and my mom, they were and Anand's sister, she's a surgeon, she's an oncologist in Bombay. She came, all of them moved from the house and checked into the Sheraton opposite Jahangir during my phase that they were just next door. And they were all with me, and very, very close friends, like you said, sending food and all. They were there every day. Like some of my childhood friends, like Farishte and Firdaus. Firdaus went with Anand even to Bombay for the second opinions. He said, I'm not leaving you next day. He said, my brother's come, my brother. But he said, no, Anand said, my sister's there, her husband is there. He said, no. They were with me every single day. My childhood friends, Nishan, all were with me every single day. very old family friends, Asif Lalji and Priya were every single day. They would send so much of food, all these people, that we didn't know what to do with the food. So but you know what I'm saying? It is just it's Indian culture.
Yeah.
It's the Indian culture. They were there every day, although I couldn't meet people for 2 weeks. I was like told not to meet.
Yeah.
But they came, spent time with Anand, with my mom, with my brother. And I think Anand got back to work also very soon. 5 days I was in hospital. The second day when I came into the room from the ICU, I asked him to go to work. Because, it just gets everyone to get back to normal
you also need your space
to normal life, and you're not in the mood to talk, you want to watch movies or read or something, and it's a diversion for everyone. Same way with my brother. After a couple of weeks, he's very much into yoga, as you know, and Pilates and all that. He found a place for Pilates near the house. He found a yoga instructor who would come home, so he also got these kind of breathers, and I encouraged them to kind of get back to their normal
and
space.
they're just around, they're there, they're
just
there.
around.
That's nice. So Lali, how do we spread this word? Like, what do you suggest? How do we get awareness for women?
I think people like us, so I think even doctors should be able to create a awareness campaign for women's heart health. It's very, very important. And the thing I found lacking as a patient in India is, I think, a lot of awareness to what to expect post surgery. So if you're told about the quality of
communication,
communication, I feel there should be more literature, like, which I feel all over the country there should be a little more literature. People are very scared of a bypass and they don't want to go into it.
Yeah, the word itself.
But I don't know. I think Anand was like a rock, and I had a very good doctor. And Sarita Kulkarni was the one whom I feel, I never forget what she told me when Anand came and told me that you have a choice between this and this is a bypass, and I think you should do the bypass. And I told Sarita and Anand, oh, the worst is still to come. And Sarita said to me, no, the worst is over that night.
Oh, that's nice
to
hear.
This is planned. She said, this is a cakewalk for you. You don't have high BP, you don't have sugar, you have no other comorbidities, it's just this issue. This is a cakewalk for you. I think that gave me a lot of strength.
Oh, that's nice.
So I always remember what she told me.
Had you visited a cardiologist
before?
Yes,
I used to
have regular checkups.
I used to go.
What do you suggest? Women should visit a cardiologist?
Yeah, they should visit a cardiologist. They probably should be on top of things a bit more.
Yeah.
But sometimes things happen, Rita.
Right.
It's like I work in the field of breast cancer. Sometimes girls come, they have all their checkups and everything, and 7-8 months later, 1 year later, something pops up sometimes.
Right.
So it's a human
should be
body.
Proactive.
Yeah, it's a human body, and it's complex and it's complicated.
Right.
Sometimes you don't have the answers.
Yeah. So even for me, someone in our family, she passed away at a young age from a heart attack. So then I kind of like, oh, maybe I should get checked. And then one thing led to another: stress test, angio, blah, blah, blah. So that's what happened. So you just have to be on top of stuff, just like you'd get a mammogram. Make sure you go to your cardiologist.
Yes.
So
and find the right person who's understands what your family history is and on top of things with you.
So any last minute, but any last message you would like to tell the audience?
I think if you have to have a bypass, I think you need to be mentally strong. You have to have a good support system, and you have to just think of it as one little bump in the whole journey of life.
And
draw strength. And I think from every problem in life that you come across, there is a learning lesson. There's a learning lesson. So for me, it was 1 month after my bypass. I had my follow-up. So after 7 days, I had the staples removed, and 1 month later, I had the follow-up. And I remember a switch went off in me. I told my doctor, I told Sarita Kulkarni, I told Manoj Pradhan, I said, like a switch went off in me. I can't explain to you. That morning I was going for my follow-up, and I just decided that everything has to reverse. I have to change this whole scenario for the better. So for example, I've lost weight. I'm not going to put that weight on, right? I got a month to be at home where I just enjoyed myself watching movies and doing stuff which I didn't ever get to do for so long. Being in my pajamas till 12, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And having a bath when I wanted. So I decided to get the best of both worlds and work, but at the same time find little niches in between for myself. Whether it means meeting a friend for a coffee or lunch, or whether it means just going for a head massage or whatever.
Yeah.
Some things to
You need to take time out for yourself.
And I never used to say no. You know me.
Yes.
I never used to say no to anyone. Now I don't say no, but if someone asks me, can you do this for me? I would do it the same day. Now I say, okay, I would do it, but maybe during the week or maybe 4 days later. So I'm able to space.
You've learned to manage your stress. You would
Manage
say?
my space. Yeah, manage space
my
out.
time management.
Give myself more time. That put everything into the basket for the day.
Okay.
Divide it in the week, through the week or something.
Okay, that's good. She has very hectic days.
So
she travels all over Pune to give talks, and then she's back at the office.
I think the day is very hectic because Anand starts very early, surgeries.
Yes.
So we get up very early and he's gone, it's a long day. And then I have a long day, and so that kind of this thing. So I've decided to, kind of space it out.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying that part of it.
That's great. Yeah, even me, everyone was like, wow, oh my God, you got an angioplasty. But one person who I had told, she goes, oh, it's no big deal. It's like a filling these days.
Yeah.
So getting a filling.
So many friends who had a bypass earlier, even some cousins have had it and all that. They all told me we've had it 20 years ago, 18 years ago, 22 years ago. We've forgotten about it also. We're leading a normal life. We're doing everything. And then I traveled 2 months later. Anand and I went on a beautiful trip. We went to Croatia and Montenegro and Bosnia. So we did a lovely road trip. And I think all that added in my healing and to get my energies back.
Oh, wonderful.
So I think all that helped.
Yes. So you have to take it in stride. I mean, you have to prevent it, but if it happens, you have to take it in stride.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. You have to just, I would not say go with the flow, but you have to be very grateful for God that it could have been worse. And you have to learn to make the best of the situation.
Yes.
And you have to try and move back to normal life. You should not dwell on to what has happened and just
running on the past never
that
works.
is not me. I can't I can't work that way.
No, you're a positive person.
Yes,
I
let
know
it go.
So Lali, thank you so much for all this, for coming here and talking to us. If people want to know more about you or more about Prashanthi, where can they find you?
I think they can find me on Facebook. They can probably connect with you and get my number
I'll
or
put,
whatever.
Information about Prashanthi in the show notes so you can find out more. It does fantastic work. Do look it up. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having me, Rita. Thank you.